Was Empress Dowager Cixi a power-hungry monster who doomed China, or was she a brilliant political survivor who saved it from total collapse? For decades, she's been painted as the ultimate villain, the dragon lady who clung to power while her empire crumbled. But is that the whole story? Let's peel back the layers of propaganda and look at the real Cixi. Born into a relatively ordinary Manchu family, Cixi entered the Forbidden City as a low-ranking concubine, but she wasn't content to be just another pretty face. She was smart, ambitious, and she used her position to learn everything she could about politics. Her big break came when she gave birth to the emperor's only son. This elevated her status overnight and put her right at the center of court power. When the emperor died, her 5-year-old son ascended the throne, and Cixi, along with the empress consort, became co-regents. This was her moment. For the next 47 years, she would be the most powerful person in China. Now, let's talk about the monster narrative. Her critics have a long list of complaints. They say she was extravagant, spending a fortune on things like the summer palace instead of modernizing the navy. They accuse her of being violently conservative, crushing any attempts at reform, like the 100 Days Reform in 1898. And most famously, they blame her for supporting the Boxer Rebellion, a disastrous anti-foreign uprising that led to an invasion by 8 foreign powers and a humiliating defeat for China. It's easy to see why this image of a clueless, reactionary ruler has stuck. She made some catastrophic decisions that had devastating consequences for her country. But hold on, it's not that simple. Let's look at the savior argument. When Cixi first took power, China was in absolute chaos. The Taiping Rebellion, a massive civil war, was tearing the country apart, killing tens of millions of people. The empire was on the brink of disintegration. Cixi, against all odds, managed to stabilize the situation. She appointed talented officials, like Li Hongzhang and Zheng Guofan, who successfully put down the rebellion and initiated the Tongzhi Restoration, a period of relative peace and progress. This was no small feat. She literally held the Qing dynasty together when it should have fallen apart. And what about her being anti-modernization? That's not entirely true either. Under her rule, China got its first railways, telegraph lines, modern factories, and a modern diplomatic service. She was the one who sent the first Chinese students to study abroad in the United States and Europe. She even put an end to the brutal practice of foot binding. These were huge steps forward. Her approach was cautious, a self-strengthening movement that aimed to adopt Western technology while preserving Chinese culture. Was it enough? Probably not. But to say she was completely against progress is just wrong. She was trying to navigate an impossible situation, caught between a deeply conservative court and aggressive foreign powers demanding more and more concessions. So, what's the final verdict? Monster or savior? The truth is, she was neither. Cixi was a complex and pragmatic leader, a product of her time. She was ruthless, yes, and she made terrible mistakes that cost China dearly. But she also showed incredible political skill, holding a crumbling empire together for nearly half a century through sheer force of will. She wasn't the demon of popular history, nor was she a saint. She was a survivor, doing what she thought was necessary to protect her dynasty and her country in a world that was rapidly changing around her. The real tragedy of Cixi is that her best efforts were simply not enough to save the Qing dynasty from its inevitable fall. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into history.